Okay, well, good afternoon, and thanks to everyone for being here today and joining us. Beautiful sunny day out there. My name is Mike Batillier. I'm the Communications and Stakeholder Relations Coordinator for the City of Swift Current, as well as a proud committee member of the Safe Places Youth Certified Committee. Now, we have a very special announcement to make this afternoon, but before we do that, I'd like to first thank Mayor Perot and a few members of City Council. Councillor Tolles and Councillor Martins are here as well. Thank you for joining us today. And I'd also like to thank members of our local media for being here today. And a huge thanks to Nathan Wiebe and the Swift Current Community Youth Initiative here at the Center for hosting this event and for your support. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank and acknowledge our Safe Places Committee. They're over here to my right. We have Nicole Spence, Tim Marcus, Lindsay Greek, Paige Aldag, and Krista Caswell, as well as Kelly Schaefer, who's a little closer here on the right. And speaking of Kelly, she is going to hop up on the mic here next, and I'll turn the floor over to her. Thanks.
I'm not going to use the microphone. Thanks everybody for coming today. The Safe Places initiative, the whole concept of Safe Places was first introduced on January 8, 2016 in conjunction with Sheldon Kennedy and Mayor Schaefer at the time at the screening of the Swift Current movie. In brief, Safe Places is an initiative that requires people to obtain a criminal record check, a valid vulnerable sector check, and to take online respect and sport training, which is a program that assists participants in identifying and dealing with abuse, bullying, harassment, and neglect. So upon successful completion of these components, people are eligible to apply to become Safe Places Youth Certified, and they receive a card that is valid for 3 years. The initiative was launched on March 9, 2016 to the public, and the committee involved in the development and implementation of this initiative has worked really hard over the last 2 years to set it up and to engage our community in this, and we've been really thrilled with the support that we've received from our community and also further afield. We've also been grateful for the support that we've received from Sheldon Kennedy and his Respect group. They've been great in their guidance on this whole area and topic of abuse, so we're thankful to them. Initially, when we started trying to engage people in this initiative, there were a couple of questions that were continually asked of us, and one was, why us? Why are you asking me to become youth certified when I don't work with children? And the other question that was asked was, why should I become Safe Places Youth Certified when I already have to complete a criminal record check or I already have relevant qualifications to work with youth? For us as a committee, it really is about delivering a clear message, and the answers that I give to these people is that, first of all, not everybody has to have a criminal record check or obtain any sort of qualification or education to work with youth in this community. So we're generalizing to think that they do. So first of all, we wanted to create a baseline standard, a quality standard of education and practice that says this is the bare minimum that we are requesting people to have in order to work with our youth. The second point of Safe Places is about raising the awareness of abuse and bullying and harassment and neglect in our community. And it's about accepting that abuse is happening. It's happening here in Swift Current, and it's happening in every community. And so what Safe Places does is it allows us to have a conversation with each other, to ask questions, to have the confidence to ask whether the people that are working with our youth are acceptable or not. Are we delivering a quality enough standard? We should demand a better service for those that are working with our youth. It also gives us the courage to act if we think that something isn't quite right. And what this training does associate with Safe Places, it does raise our awareness and our knowledge and education about maybe signs that we may not otherwise be aware of associated with abuse. And so we're grateful for people for coming on board because they recognise the value of what Safe Places represents. It's not about questioning the qualifications that you already have. It's about standing together as a community, as one, to say, we demand better for our kids and we want our community to be safe. In the last 16 months since the program has been launched, there's a number of different people that have become youth certified. Amongst those are sport, recreation, youth leaders, childcare providers, healthcare practitioners, parents, youth service providers, billets, and board members. But in particular, we have been surprised as a committee in one group in particular, and that's of the local businesses in town. We would generally expect that those working directly with youth would be the ones that would become youth certified, but we've been overwhelmed by the response of the local businesses to jump on board for this initiative. And this is exactly what Safe Places is all about. It's about the community getting behind an initiative to stand up for what we believe in. So we're really grateful to those businesses, and some are here today in some organisations. MNP, Innovation Credit Union, Dickson Agencies, we had Anchor Dental Group, Stride Physio and Performance, we had Sask Abilities, and that's just to mention a few. So we're really proud that all of those businesses got on board and really stand with us as we advocate and raise awareness of abuse in our community and accept better from those working from our youth. Today we would like to celebrate a really huge milestone in our initiative. So only 16 months after our launch, we are proud to announce that we have reached 1,000 youth certified certifications. I think we reached this much quicker than what we thought, and it certainly hasn't been seamless in terms of our rollout of this program, but the more people ask questions, the more we're able to find solutions, and the more people come on board. So we're grateful to everybody that's been involved in supporting roll this program out. We've had huge momentum in the last couple of months, and we know that this will just continue to grow over the next year. So thanks everybody for coming, and thanks for all that have been involved.
I'll stick without the mic as well. And thanks a lot, Kelly. And on behalf of everyone in this room, best of luck and congratulations on your Olympic bid in February. We'll all be turning in our Maple Leafs for a few weeks, I think, and rooting on Great Britain for sure. And now it's a real honor to introduce our next speaker. He's, of course, our former mayor, and he's also the founder of the Safe Places Youth Certified Initiative. Please welcome Jared Schaefer.
Thanks, Michael. It's a great pleasure to be here. I'm probably going to be a little bit rusty speaking. It's been about 8 months since I was out and about doing this kind of stuff, and when I see how often Dennis is out speaking or at various events, I'm really thankful that he's the mayor now and I'm no longer. But this one's really special for me to be at, and I appreciate the invite for Mayor Pro and everyone at City and at the City and Safe Places for being here and being a small part of it. With the 1,000th person being youth certified, it kind of goes back to where the program started, and I do promise I'll be really brief, but I just think about those days, and I think there's kind of a few key things that sort of were the inspiration for the program, or more than anything, maybe our community changing our direction in terms of how we deal with abuse. But the first one is I was really fortunate to be interviewed for the documentary Swift Current and then see it, and I think one of the things that movie did for me was highlight for me how naive I am, and I think a lot of people are, about the long-term ramifications of abuse in kids and the impact that it has in our societies, whether it's through addiction issues, education, mental health, and all that kind of stuff. So that seeing Sheldon and Graham and Mickey in that particular documentary and the impact that it had in their life in that trauma is something that really drove me to take a more serious view on the matter. And of course, around that same time, we had the incident of Ryan Chamberlain again in Swift Current, which was another issue. And I can remember a lot of the conversations initially, we were on the defensive, as communities are, or families are. Another black eye for Swift Current, not again in Swift Current. And a lot of focus on not this happening again, and not enough focus on the victim itself. And for me, that just being in the situation and with the video and talking with Sheldon and actually having an opportunity to speak with the family of the young victim in Maple Creek, it really drove home a need for our community to do something based on our history with what had happened here. And it got me thinking that, in work nowadays, certainly in my career, we all have these courses that our employers make us take on an annual basis, and it doesn't matter the industry you're in. It seems we have to do more all the time, but there was a glaring gap in our community that was only going to be driven by communities because nobody else would do it, and that was, of course, training and education for those that work with our kids. So obviously we wouldn't be where we are without the great leadership of the Respect Group and Sheldon Kennedy, and I think the work that he continues to do is really focusing on those impacts of raising the awareness of what happens to these victims and making it more relevant to talk about it so that we are more on the offensive rather than the defensive. So it's great to see the momentum now that I'm not involved so much anymore, the momentum that's happening in our community. 1,000 people signing up, the corporate support, all the organizations, and I guess just wrapping up, I kind of see reminders of the importance of it every day. Even just this last week in Prince Albert with the Amber Alert and a repeat offender again. And a program like Safe Places wouldn't have prevented that from happening, but I think what it continues to do is train more people in communities and make us all better at identifying stuff like that. But the more we talk about it, hopefully victims are going to feel confident and safe enough that they can disclose, and they'll be trusted when they disclose, and we're not going to eliminate the problem, but it's going to help us start to hopefully get a handle on it. The second thing for me is I coach ball this summer and volunteered at Windscape, and it's so much easier to be a volunteer when you can just give your youth certification number. You don't have to go get multiple criminal record checks and all that kind of stuff. I think it's easier as volunteers, and it's easier for organizations, and I think it sends a great message that those that are volunteering have taken those steps for youth. So congratulations to the city for the great progress on it. Thanks so much for the invite to be here, and I'll just read some words from Sheldon, who couldn't be here but did want to pass along a note. I can honestly say I never saw a day like this coming, but with your perseverance, leadership, and willingness to use the past to improve the future, you have taken a critical step to further protect our youth. You have also set an example for other communities across Canada. Today I'm with you in spirit, and I congratulate you on your 1,000th Safe Places certification. This is a huge and important accomplishment. Be proud. So, thanks very much.
Well, thanks very much, Jared, for sharing Sheldon's words with us as well. Now, as part of today's celebratory nature, we also have another announcement to make, and that is that our Safe Places Committee is proud to launch our new Safe Places Community Ambassador Program. We're really excited about this. Essentially, what it will do is recognize local community champions of the initiative. It's going to allow our committee an opportunity to work with these individuals and share their experiences with other individuals, groups, businesses, and even communities. So it's really exciting to make this announcement today. And we're also very pleased to introduce our very first Safe Places Community Ambassador. This individual has been a strong supporter of Safe Places since day one. He's also no stranger here at the center. His work with youth in our community is remarkable, and it gives me great pleasure on behalf of our committee to announce that person is Nathan Wiebe.
I'll be super brief here, but Safe Places was something that was an easy answer for us to kind of get involved with. It's an incredible opportunity just to make sure that the center stays a safe and fun place for youth. When we heard about it as a staff, it was something that it took a little getting used to understand what it was about. And once we took the program, we were all like super just encouraged by what we went through, and we were just to kind of encourage our volunteers and just our staff, and and just kind of spread the word about it. So we're just really honored to, I guess, be recognized as just a Safe Places supporter, and we'll continue to do so. So yeah, no, it's something that we see in the community that's growing, and we want to continue just to be a part of it. And I'm honored myself to be a community ambassador to represent the center, and we will again just continue to try and do our best to keep the center a safe and fun place for youth, and try and make Swift Current a safe and fun place as well. So thanks so much.
Well, thank you very much, Nathan, and thank you to the Center for your continued support. And now, last but certainly not least, it's an honor to introduce our Mayor, His Worship, Danny Crow.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Your Worship.
Well, first off, thank you everyone for coming out here today. As everyone said before, it is a monumental occasion, and we honestly wouldn't be here without the leadership of our former mayor, Mayor Jared Schaefer. It's not a secret that him and I didn't get along all the time during those 7 years, and we didn't quite agree on all things that happened across our council table. But this was one of them that we definitely agreed upon, and all of our council did as well. There was times when this project wasn't going to go forward, and it was through Jared's perseverance and through his work with Sheldon and through the Respect Group that they were able to see this project absolutely to fruition. You know, Jared, you did an awful lot of work in getting us here. As well, I'm a real champion in the letter to the editor that you were able to put in the Globe and Mail to make a formal apology to Sheldon. I give you a lot of respect for that, and I know that took an awful lot of courage. This milestone that we're celebrating, I think we heard it before from Kelly, that it's happened a lot sooner than what we first thought. And it comes thanks to a lot of our community businesses that have stepped up to the table. Myers North Penny in particular, that'll be holding an MNP Bronco alumni golf tournament on the 29th of July, and they'll be giving money from that event to Safe Places. So if anyone's at all interested, please contact Jeremy over at Myers North Penny. And also to great companies like the Innovation Credit Union and Dickson Agencies and Anchor Dental, like we heard, and of course Kimmy over at Saskability. I was happy to go there the day to put up my card. Jared, do you remember what number your card is?
Number 1.
Jared's number 1. And all of us on council were 1 through 7. And it's why I am just so very excited that we're here today for the 1,000th. To your committee, great work. I don't think it's a secret. There's other communities that want to be a part of this. And to Kelly and to her team that I know have gone out to a number of communities across the province to pitch the idea, to pitch the concept, and to share the good that's happening because of this. Truly thank you for that. I think our next few announcements are probably going to be other communities that are signing on, some larger than Swift Current, some smaller. So at this particular time, I would like to invite up to the stage, if I could, our 1,000th person who happens to work at Dickson Agencies, and I'd like to welcome Brandi to please come up. Brandi and a number of her colleagues from Dickson and from the Innovation Credit Union recently did group sessions, and thank you guys for hosting those, to all complete their Safe Places certification. And Brandi, you are lucky number 1,000, and I'm pleased to be able to present to you with some swag from Safe Places, and of course, your 1,000th card. So on behalf of our City Council, thank you so much. Well, there we go. Thank you again for everyone in attendance, and thank you to our community for being advocates and allies for Safe Places initiative. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Your Worship. Well, that concludes our announcement for today. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. We really appreciate your support. And I'd like to remind anyone who's interested in learning more about the Safe Places Initiative, you can visit our website, www.safeplacesk.ca. I'd also like to remind you that there are a number of refreshments at the back here, and they need to get eaten. So please stick around, have a visit, have a bite to eat, and a cup of coffee. And thanks again. I'll also invite the media to scrum here in a moment. Thanks very much.